parents. Yes. Good, me too. I mean, this is my first time doing stand-up, and I've been told to try and find some common ground with the audience. I would have said, does everyone here exist? But I didn't want to run the risk of any philosophy students being in. That was a good introduction for me, because basically I'm going to be telling a load of stories from my life as well, and hopefully you'll find them funny. I do, and I also find them quite depressing. Now, the thing with parents and their kids is that no matter how many differences they might have, they've always got at least one thing in common, and that is being terrified of the talk. It's the kind of thing that sets you up for your early love life and sets the tone for your first couple of relationships. So it's a very important thing to get done and get done right. And I can remember the time that my dad gave me the talk. He came into my room with a serious face on and said, "Alex, now's about the time that you're of the age that I should probably give you the talk. But I've seen the internet history on the family computer. So I just want to let you know, it's not all like porn." And I went, I know, Dad, I know. And he left. And that left me with one lesson that I've learned, and I will keep with me for the rest of my life. Always delete your internet history. What was I going to say next? No, not that one yet. There will be prostitutes later. I'm not inviting them here. I'm talking about prostitutes. But yeah, I'm sure most guys here will have had it with your friends. Sometimes it can be a bit, laddish, and you'll say something, and then they'll reply to you thinking that's the funniest thing ever, going, "That's not what your mum said last night." You're like, yeah, funny, dick. And, my best mates back home, they do that to me quite a lot. Sometimes they take it slightly too far, not that far, but slightly too far. Like, I come from London, and I go to university at the Uni of Stirling. And there was one night, about midnight, I get a text from my best mate, and he says, "Alex, is your mum home?" And I'm like, "Well, it's a weekday and she's got work tomorrow morning, so yeah, I guess." "Why?" And the only response I get, no word of a lie, a photo of the front of my house. And I'm like, okay. And I mean, that kind of thing isn't anything that I do with my mates. Mainly because I don't find their mums that attractive. Maybe, but if I'd had a lot to drink, but no, generally no. But I've found the perfect response to this. Because about just under a year ago, my parents told me and my brother that they were separating. One person feels sorry for me. And I've been up here for first semester of uni, go back home, first thing I do is go to the pub where one of my mates works at, with my mum and my brother, have a meal, have a couple of pints. And we're just having a normal conversation. And my mum's saying, I'm late 40s, I'm not going to find another man at my age. And we're all going, no, it'll be... My brother and my mate are going, no, you can find someone else, come on, don't put yourself down. And I just go, "Michael?" And he goes bright red. After all this stuff saying, "That's not what your mum said last night," and all that bollocks, he just goes bright red, shuts up, and is sitting there in terror. And just going to myself, "Yep, that's what you get." Another story involving him was a St. Patrick's Day when I was about 17, so couldn't really drink, but managed to nab a couple of Guinnesses, and we were at Trafalgar Square. They have a St. Paddy's Day concert, and I mean, usually I'm pretty fucking dense. I mean, if someone likes me, I don't get that hint whatsoever. You have to literally come up straight to my face and say, I think you look attractive. Would you like to go out with me? And still 50% of the time I'll go, yeah, thanks. I honestly don't believe them. Even quite recently, I've got a bit sidetracked now, but I'll get back to St. Patrick's Day in a second. I was looking through old Facebook messages, because some of them I don't read, and it's got like little number 11 unread messages. So just going through, all trying to find these unread messages. And I found one from someone that I'd met at my sixth form college when I was about 16 on the bus. And we had a bit of a conversation, and she'd added me on Facebook. And at the time, like, I've only just realised that it was a bit weird that I'd never said my name. So how she managed to find me on Facebook and get my name was a bit weird. And I may have made some slightly inappropriate and sexist jokes on the bus, so I was like, Facebook messaged her, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not really a sexist dick, I was just making a couple of jokes, please don't think I'm a prick. And her response was something like, oh no, it's fine, don't worry. I apologise, actually, for my friend with the weird and awkward conversation we had that apparently involved the entire bus. But, you know, it wasn't all bad because at least I met you. And this was 5 years later, I finally realised she was coming on to me. The only people I've ever legitimately known were coming on to me were at the St. Patrick's Day parade. There was, you know, obviously a load of old Irish acts and a load of old Irish ladies. And I was with a group of about 8 mates. And we were right at the front in Trafalgar Square. They had like a barrier and we were right at the front. And I was towards the back of a group, with like a kind of semicircle. And we're watching it and we're enjoying it. And then all of a sudden, like, out of nowhere, I feel something on my shoulder. I look at my shoulder, and there's like a 60, 70-year-old Irish woman resting her head on my shoulder. And I'm like, So I go to my mates and go, guys, help. They're laughing away because they're dicks. And, you know, after about 15 minutes, she stops resting her head on my shoulder. And then I kind of take that as an opportunity to kind of sneak through my friends just to try and escape. And that's the moment I realised I was actually wearing like a blazer, which is quite similar to this. And I kind of realised that the back of my blazer is now tucked in to my jeans, and they weren't before. And I'm like, how did that happen? Oh God. And about an hour later, still kind of reeling from this old Irish lady clearly trying to jump me, I look back, and at this point I'm in the centre of my group of friends. I'm as far away from the old Irish ladies that I could possibly be. And I look back, and all I can see is behind my friends, who are in a semicircle, surrounding us, all old Irish women, all the way around. It's like they're trying to get to me, and I'm like, oh God, guys, we need to leave. We need to leave now, this isn't good. So, yeah, apparently I'm catnip to old Irish ladies. But back to, you know, my parents splitting up. I'm generally the kind of guy, well, I'm doing stuff like that. My way of dealing with it is taking the piss out of it. You know, so, and I was completely fine. There was one night over the winter break where I was going to meet up with my best mate, go around to his flat and watch some DVDs after we finished work. And I told my mum that, and she's like, cool, I'll invite my new boyfriend round, because you wanted to kind of keep it all separate, and fair enough. So I'm waiting for my mate to text me saying he's finished work, and eventually he does, and my mum's getting kind of antsy. She just wants me to fuck off and leave, basically. And he says, oh, I'm just leaving work now, I've got to tidy up the flat, so about an hour. So I'm like, fuck. So I apologise to my mum, and we chat, watch a bit of TV. She goes outside for a cigarette, and I go and join her. And we're just talking, and she's making sure I'm all okay with this whole kind of thing. And I'm just like, smoking away. I'm like, Mum, don't worry, it's all cool. Cigarette, change hands. Hand in pocket. I just want you to be safe. Hand her a condom. Not one of my finer points, but there have been plenty worse. But first year I came up to university. I was 18. I had one kind of girlfriend, and not much had really happened. She'd broken up just before I came up to university. So I came up. I was a virgin, 18, and I was alright with it. Come back home for like a mid-term break, and my dad comes up to me when I'm just playing on the computer in my house. He's like, Alex, do you want to come to the supermarket with me? And he'd done this before, and always, whenever I went on a car journey with him, he'd talk about finance, like how much money have you got, you should be spending less, stop drinking as much, stop wasting your fucking money. So I was like, I really don't want to go get in the car with him, because he'll do this, and he's done it like 3-4 times already. I'm getting a bit bored of it. But he's like, no, Alex, come with me to the supermarket. I really don't want to. No, you're coming with me to the supermarket. Alright then. So we get in the car, drive down to the supermarket, doesn't say a word to me until we get into the supermarket car park, and just turns around and goes, Alex. That's awkward. It's gone silent. He goes, Alex, have you lost your virginity yet? And I'm like, oh, no, Dad. Do you want me to get you a prostitute? No, Dad. What? It's like, no, it's all right. Like, no. If I'm going to lose my virginity, it's going to be on my own merit. I don't want to fucking pay for it. No. I pay for it. Don't worry about that bit. I still don't care. I'm not doing that. Never. So that's why I will never go to Amsterdam with my dad. Again. I'm going to finish off by telling a bit more, well, some of them have been recent, but one that's a bit more apparent, because I've got my girlfriend here tonight. And this story involves her. It involves the first time she ever stayed the night around my house. And one of the first things I did, you know, like she was talking to my flatmate Ian, who's here as well. I went into my room. First thing I did, deleted the internet history. Thank you very much.